Good morning, everyone. Now the next part, that is part 3 of the lesson, some basic concept of chemistry is laws of chemical combination. The topic is laws of chemical combination. So element combine to form a molecule. We all know very well that when two element, we have 1 plus 1, two element combine to get a molecule. So when two element combine to form a molecule, in accordance to the following, there are 5 basic laws. There are 5 basic laws, and these are known as laws of chemical combination. Clear? So let us discuss these laws one by one. Clear? So the first law is law of conservation of mass. This is the first law. Law of conservation of mass. Clear? So this law was put forward by Antoine Lavoisier. Antoine Lavoisier in 1789. Clear? This law was derived by Antoine Lavoisier in 1789, and according to this law, the matter can neither be created and nor be destroyed. The matter can neither be created and nor be destroyed. Clear? Destroyed. Clear? Matter can neither be created and nor be destroyed, but one form of matter can be converted into another form. One form of matter can be converted into another form. So this law is also known as law of indestructibility of matter. It is also termed as law of indestructibility of matter. Law of conservation of mass or law of indestructibility of matter. Clear? So it means that the exact meaning or the simplest meaning of this law is the sum of masses of reactant. Here R stand for the reactant is equal to sum of masses of product. Sum of masses of reactant is equal to sum of masses of product. This is the simplest meaning of this law. Clear? The mass of the reactant is equal to the mass of the product. It means the number of atoms present on the LHS is equals to the number of atoms present on the RHS. Clear? Now the second law. The second law is termed as law of definite proportion. The second law is law of definite proportion. So this law was given by Joseph Proust. Okay, this law was given by Joseph Proust in 1799, and according to the law of definite proportion, a given compound compound. Clear? A given compound always contain, a given compound always contains exactly the same proportion, exactly the same proportion, exactly the same proportion of elements by weight. Clear? Given compound always contain exactly the same proportion of element by weight. So it is sometimes referred to as law of definite composition. Clear? Law of definite proportion, or it is also termed as law of definite composition. Okay. Now, how can you understand it? For example, pure water obtained from any source. Take the water from the well, take the water from the river, take the water from the ocean, lake, even the rainwater, or take the water from any part of the country. Clear? It will always be made up of only two hydrogen and one oxygen. Clear? Water always composed of two atoms of the hydrogen and one atom of the oxygen. Whether you have taken the water from the river, whether you have taken the water from any foreign country or river, lake, rain. Clear? So elements, the hydrogen, two hydrogen and one oxygen element combined together in a fixed ratio, and that ratio is 1:8. The ratio of the water always remain same. The ratio of the water always remains same, and that ratio is 1:8. How will you get this ratio? H2, so it is 2. Clear? Oxygen is single, so the atomic mass of oxygen is 16. So it is 1, it is 8. So the ratio is 1:8. So by this way you get this ratio, that is the 1:8, and this is called the law of definite proportion. Clear? Now come to the third law. The third law is termed as law of multiple proportions. Law of multiple proportion. This is the third law of multiple proportion. So this law was proposed by Dalton. This law was proposed by Dalton in 1803. It was proposed by Dalton in 1803, and it states that if two elements can combine to form one or more compound. ठीक है? If two elements can combine to form more than one compound, the mass of one element that combined with the fixed mass of other element are in the ratio of small whole number. Are in the ratio of small whole number. Now, how will you prove this law? Let's take an example. Two compound. Okay, that is water and hydrogen. Water and two compound, that is the water and hydrogen peroxide. The formula of water is H2O and the formula of hydrogen peroxide is H2O2. Clear? So two compounds, for example, we have two compounds, one is the water and another one is the hydrogen peroxide, are formed when hydrogen combine with oxygen. In both the cases, when hydrogen combine with oxygen, we get water. When two element of hydrogen combine with two element of the oxygen, we get the hydrogen peroxide. So let's take first example. The first is the hydrogen plus oxygen. Clear? We get water. The first condition is this one. And the second condition is hydrogen plus oxygen. We get hydrogen peroxide. We have two conditions. In one case we get water, in second case we get hydrogen peroxide. Clear? So what happened in this case? What is the formula? H2O. It means it is 2. Clear? Plus it is 16. It is 2 gram. It is 16 gram. 16 plus 2, 18 gram. Clear? It is 2 gram. How much it is? 16 plus 16. It is 32 gram. We get 32, 33, 34. We get 34 gram. So here the mass of the oxygen, here it is 16 and here it is 32. That combined with the fixed mass of the hydrogen. The mass of the hydrogen is fixed in both the cases. In case of the water, the mass of hydrogen is 2. In case of the hydrogen peroxide, the mass of the hydrogen is 2. It means the mass of hydrogen is fixed. There is only change in the mass of the oxygen. Here it is 16 and here it is 32. Clear? So this is the fixed mass. So whenever the oxygen, one is 16 gram and another one is 32 gram, when they combine with the fixed mass of hydrogen, that is 2 gram, bear a simple ratio. It bear a simple ratio and the ratio is 16 ratio 32. The ratio is 16 ratio 32. It get a simple ratio. It get a simple ratio or ratio of a small whole number. So small whole number means that is कितना हो गया 1 2. So the ratio is 1 ratio 2. Clear? So this is the law of multiple proportion. This one is the law of multiple proportion. Clear? Now the fourth law. The fourth law is law of reciprocal proportions. Clear? Law of reciprocal proportion. So this law was given by Richard in 1792. In 1792. This is 17. Okay, this is 17. In 1792, and it states that the ratio of the mass of two element. The ratio of the mass of two element. For example, we have two elements. One is A and another one is B. Okay. So the ratio of the mass of two element A and B, which combine separately with a fixed mass of the third, which is C. Fixed mass of the third. The mass of C is fixed, is either the same or some simple multiple of ratio of the masses in which A and B combine directly with each other. A and B combine directly with each other. Clear? It is not a very important law. Just it is a reciprocal. It is basically depend on the masses. The mass of the C is fixed. Only there is a change in the mass of the A and the B. Clear? Now the fifth one is the Gay-Lussac's law. Gay-Lussac's law. The main laws are law of conservation of mass, law of definite proportion, and law of multiple proportion. So it was given by the Gay-Lussac. Gay-Lussac was a scientist. Clear? So that's why it is termed as a Gay-Lussac's law. So as it is implies by the name given by the Gay-Lussac, in 1808, and he stated that the Gay-Lussac stated that when gases combine or are produced in a chemical reaction, when the two gases combine with each other or the gases are produced in a chemical reaction, they do so in a simple ratio by volume, provided all the gases are at the same temperature and the pressure. Okay, let's take the example. So 1 volume of hydrogen and 1 volume of chlorine always combine to form 2 volume of hydrogen chloride. So how it is formed? When the H2 combine with Cl2, we get 2HCl. H2 combined with Cl2, we get 2 HCl. So it is a one volume. This one is also one volume. And how much volume is there? 2. So it is a 2 volume. So the ratio between the volume of the reactant and the product is, it is a simple ratio. Okay, and the ratio is 1:1:2. 1:1:2. So this is all about the Gay-Lussac's law. Okay, this is all about the Gay-Lussac's law. Now, the next topic is Dalton's atomic theory. Dalton's atomic theory. So this concept was given by a Greek philosopher called Dalton. Okay, it was given by the Dalton, and the concept that matter is composed of a very tiny particle. We know that matter is composed of a tiny particle. So this theory, this theory belongs to the atom only. We are calling that tiny particle, and that tiny particle is known as the atom. So the word atom has been derived from the Greek word. It means atomos, meaning indivisible. Indivisible. The atom derived from the Greek word atomos. It means indivisible. Okay. So Dalton, in the form of a theory known as John Dalton gave that theory, that scale. Okay, and that is in the form of a theory. It is known as the Dalton's atomic theory. Clear? So Dalton's atomic theory has many postulates. So let us discuss the postulate one by one. So the first postulate is matter consists of minute indivisible particle, and these particles are known as atoms. It means matter is composed of indivisible particle, and that indivisible particle are known as the atom. This is the first concept of the Dalton's atomic theory. Clear? Now come to the second concept. Atom of same element. Atom of same element. Clear? Are identical to each other, and they have same size and mass. Clear? It means if we are talking about the atom of the copper element, we have an element copper, we have aluminium, any element we have. So if we are talking about any element, for example, we are talking about the copper. So the atom of the copper are identical. Even they have the same size as well as the same mass. So this is the second concept. The third concept is atom of different element. Okay? They are differ in properties. Differ in properties means their properties are different. They are differ in properties means their properties are different. If the properties are different, definitely sizes will be different as well as the mass will be different. Clear? It means if we are talking about the two element, means for example we are talking about the copper and we are talking about the aluminium. So aluminium and copper are the two different elements. Clear? So it means they possess the different property. Clear? Their property is different. And the size of their atom as well as mass is also different. Clear? Now the fourth one. The fourth one is the compounds are formed when atom of the different element combine with each other. Okay, in a simple numerical ratio, and the relative number and kind of atom are always the same in the given compound. So when the atoms combine with each other, we get compound. So the compound is formed when the atoms are combined with each other. So these are the main postulates of the Dalton's atomic theory. Clear? So these are the postulates, but there are so many drawbacks of the Dalton atomic theory. That's why it is not acceptable. It was not truly acceptable. Clear? So the drawback is it could not explain the law of combination, chemical combination by mass. Okay, it could explain the law of chemical combination by mass, but failed to explain the law of gaseous volume. This is the first drawback. The second drawback is it could not explain why atoms of different element have different masses. This is the line. The atom of different element have different property, different size and different mass. But what is the reason behind it? It could not able to explain. So this is the second failure. The third failure is it failed to explain the nature of force that binds together atom in a molecule. Clear? He said that when the atom combine with each other, it form a molecule. So what is the force behind them? What is the name of the force? Which one is the force which hold the atom together to form a molecule? So he has not explained the reason behind it. Clear? So this is the next drawback of the Dalton's atomic theory. Clear? So it was failed. Then after that, Niels Bohr has given the theory for the atom. There are so many in your previous class you have studied the chapter, and I think in the 9th class, that is the structure of atom. So there are various kind of a theory which explain the structure of the atom.